Garbage
Hi,
pail.
welcome to another episode of Five Business Rules. I am Monica Jansen, head kick-ass copywriter and strategist at Jansen Communications.
And I'm Nicole Krug, digital strategist and founder at Socialite.
And today we are going to talk about DIY, specifically marketing projects that you do not want to take on yourself. This is something Nicole and I talk about all the time with clients. I mean, there's some stuff I won't touch. And in fact, I'm gonna skip to number 2 on my list, Google AdWords. Let me tell you something about Google AdWords, okay? This is a niche industry in and of itself. Yes, my team can help you with social ads. No problem. Google AdWords, I am not touching that thing with a 10-foot pole. There's a reason that companies specifically focus on Google AdWords. This is not easy.
Like, even if you have an idea of the gist, there's so many like fine prints and fine lines, and things change so fast that you have to pay. Like, you can't just kind of set it up and forget it. You got to stay on top of it and keep it up. And that's hard to do if it's not something you're like, well, is this a good result or is this not a good result?
Mm-hmm.
What do I do to fix it?
And it can get, if you don't know what you're doing, it's going to get very expensive very quickly, and you're going to have nothing to show for it. It really is better to work with an expert on that. Also, you want to work with an expert on search engine optimization, SEO. Again, this is highly, highly specialized. People ask me if we do SEO every once in a while, and I say, nope, but I know who does, and I'm going to introduce you to them. There's a lot that goes into search engine optimization. It's not just about keywords. That's foundational, but there's a lot more to that.
The thing that's so funny about this is it's so much smoke and mirror, right? Because we know a lot, but we're also making educated guesses on a lot, because Google has confirmed there's more than 200 factors that goes into the ranking, but they haven't confirmed what those 200 factors are. You know, they've alluded to things, but every time they change their algorithm, it changes and all that. And Google's not exactly transparent about how you're doing it. And so it is
just like Google AdWords. And yeah, Google is a huge, very successful, great company, but as a consumer, it's not easy to work with. Not at all.
Not any one thing. Not their Google My Business, not Google Ads, not Google.
Correct. Yes.
Another video. Moving on.
All right. So the third marketing project you do not want to DIY is website design. Now, there are tons of platforms out there that allow you to quickly and easily build a website. Squarespace, Wix, Shopify. As long as you're sticking exactly to one of their templates or one of their themes, and you're not changing anything around, you're just populating your images. Now you can change colors, but you're populating your words, but you're not adding anything or taking anything away. You're good to go. Okay. But I'm talking about web design when you're really trying to customize a theme or a template, whether it's on one of these DIY platforms or on WordPress. Do not try this yourself unless this is what you do all the time, because you are going to end up with with a website that even Dr. Seuss, like in his wildest imagination, could not have put together.
You're talking, I'm thinking about it from just a general look and feel. And I'm also going to expand the DIY to, this doesn't include your niece, your teenager, your whatever, because this is, your website is your biggest piece of advertising. And if you want to put that in the hands of a teenager with no real brand experience, go for it. But even to me, even if you are a technical person, if you don't have the design piece on it, and like even when you get to start changing colors on the templates, with a lot of design, less is more, and that's hard for people that don't do it professionally to kind of restrain them.
Anyway, okay, so let's talk about the next marketing project you shouldn't DIY: lead generation strategy. Now, the reason I suggest not DIYing a lead generation strategy for your own company is because you're myopic. You're like this. You're too close to the company. You can't think outside of the box. You can't think and you might not even know that you should be considering different options. When I need help with lead generation, I ask Nicole.
I think that's a really good point, that you are so close to it. Having that,
You can't be objective.
You can't be objective. Plus, I think you also get in a rut of what you've done, and having an outside, they say, hey, do you want to try this? Also,
last but not least, the marketing project you should not DIY is creating a visual identity for your brand. So
unless you're a graphic designer.
Unless you are a graphic designer, unless you're an expert and this is what you do all the time. But for your logo, for your fonts, for your colors, it's a whole language. You know, a graphic designer will create a style guide for you. So having a really strong visual identity, not just from that sleek, beautiful look, but from that consistency look is really important. And a graphic designer is going to know all the different elements to look at to make sure that you are all set to go.
Very good point.
Thank you. Hope you found this video helpful. Please like, comment, and share, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Bye.